feel comfortable and shrink myself in the process.
Hello, hello, tiny peoples living inside my computer. I'm back. We're back. Welcome to this week's Panta Rhei cozy, hopefully cozy, co-working stream. Yeah, unfortunately we missed last week. We had some scheduling issues, or like I had. But we're back today with lots of things to do. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing fine. I've got a first coffee of the day, so I think we're ready to start coding. Actually, I'll give you a quick overview of the things I have planned for today. You know, that's one... I'm searching for a screen. Yeah, here we go. That's kinda one thing to... or a trick. Or like if you're like working or like a creative working on something or freelancer and you're working on your own schedule, try to keep yourself accountable. You know, I don't know, get your roommate or friend or someone involved, someone or a stream. A stream also works fine. But you know, go to someone and tell them about your plan for the workday. Make a list or something, make sure that you've told someone, and then it's like in your mind, it kinda gives you the feeling that now someone, even if it's just your roommate and they don't really care if you do your work or not, but like in your mind, it's like, oh, I've told someone that I'll be doing these tasks today, so now they expect me to do it, and I kinda have to keep on it. So now I'm telling you, chat, and you gotta keep me accountable. So, the most important thing to do is meta memory fragment system, let's call it like that. So that's the thing I've been prototyping for the last few days. I'll show you in a bit. We've spent basically the second part of last week redesigning or like working on the whole meta run loop resource management system. Now we're creating a first prototype of that. And I did some work. I created like a shop upgrade system, but then realized, as you do in the middle, or like I finished implementing it, and then I realized actually the whole thing I just built would be way better suited for another part of the permanent progression. So now we have to like move it from the shop upgrades to the memory fragment system, and then come up with something new for the shop upgrade. So that's the big thing for today. The hopefully smaller thing is exporting a block out for our lovely art direction. It's a request I just got in. They're now ready to start working on... Oh, actually, that's kind of official. I can show you something. Okay, I'll show you somewhere else, actually. Because they just finished... giving you like a sneak peek. Sneak peek art stuff. They're still in like finishing pre-production, basically. And they just finished one concept art / target render. And I already put it on our Kickstarter page. I mean, we're not ready to launch yet, but we have... Wait, can you see that? We have a preview soon to be coming soon Kickstarter page. So the plan right now is to launch Kickstarter somewhere in summer, like when we release a new public demo, and go with that, and have like a neat little crowdfunding campaign going together with that. Actually, I posted I've never done that. I can just post it in chat, right? That's what a good streamer does. How do you call that? Preview Kickstarter page? Yeah, and what we did, oh no. I think that worked. Oh, I posted it with the restream chair. Anyways, what we have now is a first sneak peek at insight into the visual direction of Panta Rhei. Expect more to come on our socials and stuff. I think we're starting to be able to share more visual insights as well. Maybe have like an artsy stream once in a while as well. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for that. So yeah, but now with that done, our art team is ready to work on or exploring concept art for locations, and for that they need like a block art that they can work with. And I think let's not overestimate our time. I think that's the two main goals for today: exporting a block art and then implementing a memory fragment system that hopefully works. Now for the location block art, I thought about... We have one location that's kinda ready. Things can still change, as always. So basically, we have a block art of the first location, Fee's Garden. It's kinda small, but I think that's fine. And like some certain heights or area sizes probably will still be adapted, and we'll see what the art department says about the whole layouting, and then things will probably go through a few more iterations until they're approved by like, because a location like this needs basically approval. You have a level designer like me who does the block out based on like a mock-up, and in every state you kinda need to get approval from like game design that everything works. You need to get approval from narrative that like the location makes sense with the narrative lore and description of the location and everything, and you need to get approval from art that like it's all in line with the shape language and visual direction. They can actually do interesting visual stuff with the requirements. And now, and for exporting, I never did that, to be fair. There is a way to... I'm just gonna research that. I researched that a bit a while ago, and I think the way to go was with the FBX exporter. And I think we already have the FBX exporter in the project. Well, let's go to the package manager first. Oof. Okay. I know I worked with the FBX exporter. Yeah, we have that in the project. Now, because we only really need to export the meshes. Oops. Game object export to FBX. Okay, because the thing we kinda need to export the white box, and is there something in the geometry, the platforms, the geometry destructibles? I think that's mostly it. Technically level, I guess these bridges can't hurt as well. Try taking the exits as well. I think encounter isn't too important. Let's try it with this. Our calling is export file. Fees garden. Let's do an export folder. We only need models. I don't think we have LODs with a block on it. I think that's fine. Don't need skinned or animated. Naming export unrendered. No, we only need the rendered stuff. Let's try that. Okay, let's try that, if that works. I'm not sure if I can open FBX X files. Probably with some kind of Paint 3D or something. This is the default FBX viewer on Windows. Pretty sure. Alright. Export. FBX files are not supported by default. Okay. Can I open it? Did I? Don't have any 3D. I mean, I could just view it here in Unity, I guess. I guess that works. Okay, let's add fee. Can I just add a player? I guess I'll just add a player in here somewhere. Like that. And then let's try that again. Platform geometry. Let's keep the destructibles as well. The bridges. The entry. Not the entry, the exit. And let's keep the nets and fee. Export to FBX. Okay, I hope this worked even if I clicked outside. Maybe we can write, like if we need, yeah, we're probably not gonna need this very often, but we could write a little tool that collects these automatically. Or write some documentation. Teach the art team to do that by themselves when they have access to Unity. Because then they can always work with the latest versions of the block art. But I think they won't really need it that often. It's not like I've got anything better to do. Okay. Oh, okay, now this. Did this work? Ah, it. Oops. Kinda worked. There's a weird thing going on with the pivot there. But I guess it's good enough. Alright, let's send it. No, it's too powerful to be sent by Discord. So I'll probably just upload it to our drive. Let's wait. Hello, hello Rania. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? How's life treating you? How's your various side projects going? I think you have multiple going on now, right? I'm doing fine. Already completed, if this works with the FBX export, I've already completed 50% of my tasks for today. Not considering that the whole system implementation is a bit more involved than just exporting a blogout, but technically we're doing good progress. So yeah, first thing done, uploaded, and now I guess we just have to wait if this worked. But until then, I think we can start. We can switch to the meter progression system project. Whoop whoop. Of projects, internship, and bachelor thesis. That's very ambitious for one day. But reminds me that I should start thinking about my master thesis as well at some point. Eventually. So, yes, as I said, I think it's always a good habit to start the day with like a to-do list or something and tell it to someone, be it a stream or a roommate or a friend or someone. That doesn't have to be a colleague. But like if you share your daily task list with someone, they kinda can keep you accountable, even if it's just a mindset thing. I feel like if I tell someone, first thing I have to like organize my day and actually think about the specific tasks. I have to write them down somewhere. And if I tell someone, my mind tricks me into thinking, oh no, now they actually expect me to do that. Even though like my roommate doesn't really care if I do my work stuff or not. But yeah, then it's a thing of I committed to do this. Yeah, I mean, good thing if you already did actual writing. I spent a lot of time researching and gathering notes for my bachelor thesis, but then actually didn't compile a sensible text until the very end. Then I got stressed. But I think if you're working on it on and off and actually making progress and already have something written, then that's very reassuring. It's not like you have to start from zero, you can just pick up where you left. Okay. Hello, Allegra. Good morning to you as well. Sorry I missed your stream. I just saw it on Instagram. Too late. But nice catching for you to catch our stream. How are you doing? How's it going in the artsy side of the world, the city? So, on the not so artsy side of the development process, I've been doing some, actually yesterday, I've been redesigning or thinking about a way to structure our meta progression. And that's a it's a complicated thing. It's an intimidating thing. I just basically our game design lead went on holiday, and before that said, "Rough, you've got 2 weeks to come up with a solution for the meta design." And now I'm a bit stressed, but I feel like um, we're getting somewhere. 'Cause normally, I started with that's what you can see in the background here. Like that's 4 flip charts. And I started collecting everything I knew about our meta game and all the influences and all the ideas we had, and then we had like 100 possible ways to go. And then that's kind of what I did here. Um, it's always that's something I learned from designing board games really. Also kind of a design philosophy. Because with video games, normally, especially when they're like focused on very small features, it's really not. I don't want to say easy, but it's you can get to something playable faster than like a board game for comparison. You can just prototype one specific feature. You have something that people can interact with, like run around or hit stuff, and you can already test like the UX. But with things like board games, to like really test a board game, you kind of have to build the whole thing, like the whole game, even if you're just interested in one specific feature. And so for that, I like to, and with the meta design for a video game, it's not too far away from designing a board game. Because to test how the whole resource flow works or how the decision-making process works, you kinda have to build the whole thing, the whole engine, so you can start tweaking certain numbers. So I kinda stopped trying to, in my head, come up with the perfect solution, but just started building, I call them scenarios. So I write down all the different parts and mechanisms that need to work. I kind of think about the target goal, the decision making I want to, like the kind of decisions I want the players to have. And then I kind of just make decisions. Like I take one piece of the puzzle and decide, okay, that's going to work like that, without thinking about a lot of the consequences, just to have a cornerstone to work from. Like in the case of our meta game design, we kind of decided that way the locations work, the like here, the cleansing of the location works in multiple stages, so you can solve side quests, and with every side quest, it cleanses a bit of the location. You have like one interactable, we're calling them monoliths for now, although we don't really know what they are, that you can interact with, where you can solve the side quest and then get a resource out of it. We're calling them coins for now. And that's kind of the cornerstone I started with, and then from there on I started putting down like decisions for how the temporary powers for the roguelike aspect works, how the time loot for the enemies worked, and all of these questions has like 5 different answers. But I just, okay, we're going with one possible way, and I know that it works technically. And then we have like a basic scenario of like all the systems dropped down here in nodes that we can actually implement and prototype and test, and then we have a actual testable basic from where we can work away from and start tweaking. But it's really easy with meta design to get stuck in your head and trying to come up with the perfect resource flow design. But in reality, you just kinda have to get something playable fast. No, it's not a board game. I mean, we're also working on board games. I had a board game at the Coworking tested, but designing the meta resource management, or like the general economy or something of a game, in my opinion, is very similar in the thought process to designing board games. because it's the same abstract mechanisms like linking into each other. So I feel like you can learn a lot from that if you're doing meta redesign. But yeah, game design for board games is a different beast. So yeah. And what we came up with, I did some research, mostly for games that I like and that I know. So games that did an interesting approach to, I really liked the way that Ruina handled their meta progression. And and by the way, I got this image from, sorry for all the detours, but a lot of interesting things happening here. For all the UI designers out there, or like generally for research, it's interesting. There's a website called Game UI Database, and it's kind of awesome. It just collects UI snapshots and screenshots of like literally every game that is out there. And you can look up specific games and see how they solved all their menu interactions, all the HUD elements, like everything that's going on. Like if you have a game and you know it did its UI well, you can research it here basically. But you can also look for specific styles, and I think you can also filter by aesthetics, control schemes, but also for I don't know, for like dialogue stuff, and then you can maybe you're looking for like a dialogue, or you're building a dialogue system and you want it to be, I don't know, retro, and then you can kind of browse through other games that have like a similar aesthetic or similar approach and doing dialogue stuff, and you can get inspired by different approaches to it. And I think, Crying Suns, a game that I played. Actually, I should. Crying Suns would also be a good research for meta game design. Didn't think about that. But yeah, Game UI Database. Keep that in mind. But yeah, Ruina did an interesting approach to their permanent progression, I think, because like as you progress through the game, it's like a twin stick shooter action game basically, with a linear story. And as you progress, you're unlocking skill points, and you can kind of invest the skill points into these different upgrade branches. So it's not reinventing the wheel really, but it's giving you some interesting decision making, and gives you a lot of freedom in how you want to play the game, because you have like 3 different main abilities, like a dash, like on the trigger button, on the B, on the X, and for each of these main abilities you have like 3 different upgrades that you can choose. And for the trigger, it's really different. It's like a shield or a dash. I think, no, the dash was over there. Like completely different upgrades that you can invest in and that you can swap between, so you can really, like how you spend your skill points in this menu really defines how you approach a combat or a fight. And in theory, you could redistribute the skill points, so you can actually build or like go with different approach every time you play the game, or like even in between combats. If you have a tricky boss fight, you could redistribute your skill points to better fit the boss fight you're fighting with. They didn't really capitalize on it that much, because I kinda stuck with one build and kept it for the whole game. But there would be an interesting design decision behind that, to like have a skill point system where you can redistribute and actually have that be a core part of the gameplay. You have to you're incentivized to try different approaches for different enemies or encounters or boss fights or biomes or something. So yeah, and it's easy to understand, and it's kind of simple but beautiful. I like the whole game generally. Is a gem. Ruiner. Yeah, obviously I've looked at Hades because Hades does the shop thing kind of well. It's also not too too complicated. It's just a shop. You get like I think 3 different things to choose from. You can buy it, but still something to look into. And Pixel Dungeon is like my go-to. Pixel Dungeon is a no, not a board game, a mobile game that's very close to the original Rogue game, like the game that started the whole roguelike genre. And does also doesn't do a lot of complicated things, but it's always important to check out like the very basics and see what the decision making process there was to inform our own system. Now what I came up with is kind of the Ruiner thing, but based on our core abilities. So kind of the problem I had with Ruiner was I kind of got stuck in one build, and it doesn't really make sense to invest points in different aspects of one interaction, because you can only use one of those 3 trigger abilities. That kind of doesn't make sense to distribute points in multiple branches, so I didn't want that. But I like the decision-making process of I can really customize my build outside of combat before going in. So that's the permanent progression that's happening in the hub area. So in between runs, you can, with multiple runs, you're unlocking skill points, and with the skill points, you can kind of customize a build. And the main goal here was to have a baseline for the players to experiment with different builds, where they can, on top of that, experiment with different temporary upgrades and stuff they unlock during a run, but to have like a solid base ground that really defines your approach to a run. So the point distribution shouldn't only be like stat changes, like increased damage or increased movement speed, but should really affect the way you approach a run. So yeah, split it up into a similar setup like Ruiner with I think 10 different branches, and in each branch you can for now stack 8 upgrades. And I don't know if any of those like make sense once they're implemented or tested, but the point here is to have a complete set that kinda makes sense that we can implement and then start testing on top. So we are not really worried or thinking too much about if the general distribution makes sense, but we're just putting a decision down and starting to work on that. Yeah, and basically yeah, that's about it. And now we have to. It sounds great in theory, but now we actually have to implement it. And the other thing we have, the other side of the coin, so to say, is a shop, similar to Charon shop in Hades, where you can buy upgrades during a run. So if you compare it to Hades, it would be like the upgrade shop with Charon and the what is it called, Mirror of Night in the House of Hades, where you can buy permanent upgrades. But we kind of want to have a better focus on a greater focus on the permanent upgrades or have them have a greater impact in the hub area. And the upgrade shop inside the run to have less of an impact, but still be an incentive for the player to perform well and like have a conversion of, in our case, well, right now they're coins. I'm not sure what they're going to be from a narrative point of view, but to have some conversion inside the run. Yeah. So design design 101 with Raf. I don't actually know. I mean, I know a few things about board game design mostly. I've been designing board games since I was 10, maybe. I mean, I didn't publish anything, so if you're counting that, I'm not a published designer, but I did a lot of prototypes and testing. Back then, when I still had more time in hand. So yeah. Now, for implementing that. We already had a system going for... We already, in the first iteration, I had this kind of system built for the shop. And that was already working in the build. But now we're moving it to the hub area. And I think technically it should still mostly work the same with a few adaptations. So our placeholder shop is just a random crystal I found in the somewhere in the assets. But I feel like we can just keep that. Just have to rename it to... Because the whole system is now called memory fragments. I'm not sure, because the idea is you collect memory fragments during a run, they then get sent back to the hub world, and then you can convert them to like skill points. Oh, well, have a nice day, Ronja. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck on all your projects and the bachelor thesis. See you next time. See you. Oop. Okay, I think something's kinda broken in the serialization. Let's call it skill tree. Doesn't really make sense, but who's gonna stop us? Wait, how did I call? Oh, misspelled it. Skills. Yes, I think that's good. And now a hub area. Oh boy, how is the hub? That looks like the hub. And let's add it somewhere. And if I am correct, I think we can just add the player in here. And start and hope it doesn't break everything. Oh, we have compiler errors. Yeah, renaming stuff in the code base is always a bit shady. Not recommended. Okay. Expected behavior. Now I run up to the skills, interactable, press enter. At the shop UI that's going to be the skills UI should kinda just open. And then nothing else. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That still works the same. They're called coins right now, and they're set up for the first iteration we had. Easy peasy. Now, okay, the transition to the hub. Actually, also did a list in up here. What's to do? That's kind of done. That's kind of working. But we're gonna test everything all together once it's properly implemented. But maybe we should add a done column. But with a question mark. Because what does done really mean? Because those temp powers are rework, corruption kinda work. Respawns aren't really working. We kinda need to do this. Monoliths and cleansing are working. Cleansing quests are working. Prep location. No, that's what we're reworking now. So kinda have to give that back. Persistency, mostly working. Alright. Okay, then next up we have the basic system for the converting the memory fragment. Okay, now next question is we have a total of 50 upgrades planned. Our target for like when you complete the whole game is, and that's just arbitrary numbers, as like again just some working numbers that we can start tweaking from. Basically just gut feeling. Target upgrades are like 30 that you can unlock, and then MF doesn't stand for something what do you say, naughty. That's actually our abbreviation for memory fragments. But yeah, kinda unlucky. Target cost per upgrade would be 1 to 4 skill points or memory fragments. We know that there will be, like, let's actually call them skill points. Memory fragment pickups in the whole game will be around 60 to 100. Because those are kind of the go-to reward that we can put everywhere in the game, like for exploration stuff. And some narrative progress is also linked to that. And so in that case, with the planned max upgrades of 30 and like an average skill point cost of 2, we need around around 60 skill points. So in that case, it kinda converts nicely, because then we can just have every memory fragment equal 1 skill point, so we can just keep the distribution. I think that makes sense. Okay. So now we need a simple way to collect memory fragments in a build or like in the locations. Easiest will be to just have use our interactable system. Yeah, that's my workspace where I kinda test everything. It gets a bit crowded when there are a lot of different things going on at once. So let's create an interactable for the memory fragment. Give it an interactable base, make it interact automatically, disable on interact, and it doesn't have to have the UI, just needs a model as well, some visual indicator, or maybe we can find a placeholder VFX as well. Narratively speaking, the memory fragment should be fishes. So let's see if we find a fish. Like that's not random. They are actually thought fishes. Like the idea is that memory fragments in the form of fishes represent like thoughts or ideas and like fleeting memories that just transient. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, that's a fish with... It's a fish I stole from another project, a game jam project. But it has VFX, so I guess that's it now, that's the model. Is it animated? It's animated. Great. Okay, that's good enough for our placeholder. I mean, in reality, what we want is to have them be like indicated by VFX or something else. You can find them scattered in the locations through exploration and then pick them up, to like swim away, and you have to actually collect them. But for now, they'll just be static collectibles basically. So this thing also needs persistency. There was an interactable persistent kind of thing. This whole serialization marker stuff, that's our own system for serializing and having user generic, no not generic, unique IDs for the instances and prefabs. But yes. So, persistency. I kinda don't trust this interactable persistent. Oh no, the music stopped. Gets buffering our chill hop live stream. And oh, are we back? That's back. No, I don't trust that. Let's do our own. And we have a level element persistence module. We do a persistent collected, and when it's already set, then we can just disable the whole thing. Easy. And when interacting, we first need to notify the system. And it's still called shop, but it shouldn't be called shop. It should be called system fragments. Because we are going to have a different shop implementation. So far so good. Okay, then we need to add fragments, like one. And notify the persistence module that it's been collected. then maybe for a good measure add a little debug VFX. Should rename them to like debug or placeholder. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna use the same thing, but make it blue. Kinda. Yeah, that's a very sophisticated. Can I just add like a fourth? So it's about 80? Let's just add 80. No, that doesn't work. Man, there's just so many. Oh no, all of them have a color. Okay, this is probably gonna look a bit whack. Yeah, what? For that color isn't really our main concern. We'll just add power up VFX. And I guess remove the circles. Actually, in that case, we are going to do those. Would be great to somehow debug. Wait. Can't I like play one? Okay. And then it's collected. We're gonna play the VFX as well. Okay. Easy. Okay. With that, we have a very basic memory fragment collectible. Now, how are we testing this? I think in theory we should be able to just test it in my player workspace. So expected behavior. If I go here, I should have 0 coins. Then I collect fish. Okay, still need to make it disappear. Now I have 1 coin. Nice. And yeah, we're not worrying about the whole persistency setup yet. That's a problem for later. Okay, I think let's distribute some in our testing setup. Like in the locations. I don't think we had an issue right now. Anyways. Now, I guess let's just go for a few. They still need an Ecto Eater, can't forget about that. I think we're good to go. I'm trying to remember how their serialization works. I guess let's just accept that it probably works. Okay. Let's put the power crystal. Okay, that's not where I wanted to put it. Like here. And then here. And we need to reconnect the camera region. Or not. Okay, let's do 4 memory fragments for now. Let's do one over there. You know, the idea is we can also connect those memory fragments with other rewards. So basically that you receive a memory fragment so it gets released by this puzzle, for example. Like the one-off things. Normally they shouldn't be too obvious. They're like somewhat hidden, but it's just the block guard. Just to get the idea across. Yeah, and in featured we're just placing them. Because we want to test. Let's also do like 4. We can move them somewhere else later. So, now what are we testing? With the changes we did, the save system should not work anymore. Unless missions are serialized, events are serialized, cleansing. I think the system didn't really do. Yeah, memory fragments aren't connected to the save system yet. So I guess that's the next thing we have to do. And also actually set up a few of those upgrades. Now it would be great if Miro was actually working again. Because I need my overview. Yeah, okay, I think it's back. Yes, so let's see. Like with the distribution of memory fragments, around 14. So like if we put 4 in Vi's garden and 4 in Vi's shed, then we have 8 already. So first thing we need for the system is a method to remove or like refund so the reverse thing from unlocking. Yeah, we can't refund when we're at level 0 because none unlocked. a bit confusing with the levels and the indices of the level upgrades. So if we're at level 0, we have actually no upgrades. So if we're getting the current upgrade, we have to shift one. Down. I mean, current upgrade is maybe a little bit misleading. Yeah, because basically that's doing the same thing. So yeah, can just call it down. Just shifting the level down one. Now, okay, we can get the current upgrade. Or like the last unlocked upgrade, to be exact. We could also cache the runtime branch. Technically. Should never be null, but it's always... I think it's always a good idea to double check. Might be getting a